5%.
It's preposterous. There's no reason every American shouldn't know about these accounts. I put over $50,000 of my own money into these accounts, personally.
This has been a godsend for our family.
No one is telling Americans about the 770s. Not banks, not Wall Street, not the government. In fact, government places incredibly tight restrictions on the advertising of these programs.
Today we bring you inside the world of high finance to uncover the banking industry's biggest secret. A secret account so powerful that bankers have withdrawn billions from their own banks to invest in it. In this special report, we'll show you how everyday Americans have started to take advantage of these underground accounts and how you can do it too. Hi, I'm Bob Irish, reporting to you from Palm Beach, Florida. I'm here today because I've been part of a special investigation that's uncovered what I believe to be one of the biggest banking conspiracies of the last 50 years. The scandal we're going to expose today is so big and wide-ranging that practically every man and woman in America will be affected by it. It involves all the biggest banks in the country: Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, as well as thousands of smaller community banks and credit unions. All told, about 4,000 banks are in on the scheme. But this has nothing to do with banks stealing money from their clients, as they recently did in the small European country of Cyprus. And it also has nothing to do with the big bailouts many of America's biggest banks received a few years ago. No, what we're going to cover today has to do with large, secret transactions that have been taking place inside America's banks for years now, all behind closed doors. These transactions are allowing bankers to earn between 30 and 40 times more interest on their money than what they're offering you, the general public. And yet almost no one in America knows this is happening. In fact, banks aren't talking about this. Not on TV or the radio or in the papers. And it doesn't matter how much money you have invested or how long you've been a client with your bank, they'll likely never tell you about these accounts in person either. In a minute, we'll feature testimony from an ex-banker who told us about these secret accounts and how they work. Because so few people know about these accounts, and because they sound too good to be true, this man even agreed to sign a sworn affidavit to prove what he was saying was true. And what he revealed was shocking indeed. While most Americans, and especially retirees like me, are struggling to find decent yields on their money right now, bankers across the country are secretly using 770 accounts, named after the IRS code that allows them to exist, to earn up to 30 to 40 times more interest on their money. All 100% tax-free. To put that in perspective, that's the difference between earning $100 on your money in the bank and being taxed on this amount to boot, and earning $4,000 tax-free in one of these special accounts. In fact, these 770 accounts are so powerful, some people have even started draining their 401ks to invest in them instead. Here's what one man told us.
Before I discovered this account, I was racking my brain about how to safely grow my family's money. The crash of '08 really spooked me, and we lost a ton. That's when I started searching for a safer alternative and found out about the banker's secret. Since then, I haven't lost a minute of sleep or a single dime. My money's just gone up and is on pace to reach tens of thousands of dollars. I've even cashed out my 401ks and put all my safe money in this account.
While very little information about these accounts ever reaches the general public, one Wall Street Journal article did slip through the cracks a few years ago. Here's what it said. The 770 account, and I quote, has become a tax shelter for the rich. It gives the affluent tax advantages far beyond those available to middle-income people through a 401k or IRA. End quote. The 770 has become a tax shelter for the rich because the money accumulated inside this account grows tax-free and can be withdrawn completely tax-free, without penalties of any kind. But it's not only rich people who are allowed to take advantage of this account. As part of our investigation, we spoke to a pastor from Arkansas who told us his church had racked up over $500,000 in debt thanks to several repairs and purchases. Remarkably, however, within 4 years of starting his 770 account, the pastor had accumulated enough money to pay back over half the church's loans. That's $250,000 in 4 years just by investing in this simple account.
Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to see you guys join me today. Tonight is very special for me. It is the official launch of my financial services business. Many of you have heard me talk about it, but today I feel so excited because you guys took the time to be here for me, and I have a supportive team. I'm going to talk about what I do. I'm going to introduce one of my peers as well. She's going to share a testimony, and then we'll go further into having a panel later on, and then some Q&A. But for now, I'd like to introduce Shola. Shola is she's been in the company for quite some time now, and you know what? You hear firsthand from her, so I'll let her do the talking. Thanks.
Thank you, Anna. I'm truly honored to be here today. Thank you, my financial associates. This is what Experior Financial Group is all about, complementing one another. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our incredible leadership team. We appreciate you. And my EDs, my SM, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here tonight. Your presence here truly means a lot to us, especially to Anna. And we sincerely appreciate you taking the time to show up and invest in yourself this evening. As Anna has mentioned, my name is Olushola, and my name means God gives wealth. I've always believed that when God blesses us with wealth, whether it's knowledge or opportunity or resources, it's not meant to be kept to ourselves. We are blessed to be a blessing, right? And this belief is what led me into this insurance industry. So my journey as a financial empowerment strategist started back in 2005 when my friend introduced me to the insurance industry and shared how powerful this opportunity could be. I was excited and jumped at it. You know, I was still young then, and I partnered with Pro-America then. And in Pro-America, if you are able to help 5 families within 30 days, you're going to win a boat cruise, which I won. I was able to help 5 families within 30 days. And I enjoyed my boat cruise. So over the years, I've partnered with a few more other companies and gained valuable experience. But I can honestly say that when I joined Experior Financial Group, everything shifted for me because I got more clarity, my understanding deepened, my confidence increased. One of the greatest differences between, is my old company and Experior Financial Group is the training. The training is really, really, really rich, so seasoned. And we have our training Monday through Saturday, and Sunday we can rest. So we have great EDs, we have great SMs, we have great people, helping us, training us. Experior Financial Group, they train and develop great leaders, equipping us, to be truly educated so we can educate families, right? So my mission is to educate and empower as many families as possible, because for me, this mission is personal. I love to sit with families, I'm not just talking about life insurance when I sit with them. I'm teaching them how to build tax advantage generational wealth, retirement strategies, I'm showing them how to create generational legacies. I'm explaining how they can become their own CEOs, and also I'm teaching them how they can access living benefit, how they can build their cash value, structure protection the right way. So, I'm just so excited with, sitting down with families and showing them all this. My journey, I came from a family of 9 children. My father was in the army, and I watched him how he worked tirelessly to send every one of us to school, from kindergarten all the way to college. He didn't have to borrow money, thank God, but he sacrificed a lot. He gave everything to make sure we had opportunity in life through education, which is the best legacy. As a child, I didn't fully understand the weight of responsibility then, but now that I'm a parent with 3 children, I do. And that's why I'm so passionate about educating my community, because families don't have to struggle. They don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. With the right strategy and the right guidance, they can create stability, protection, and long-term wealth. Experior Financial Group has given me the tool, the mentorship, and the environment to grow into a stronger professional. The leadership in Experior Financial Group genuinely wants us to see that we excel. The training sharpens us. The culture pushes us. We want to do more, And seriously, guys, the opportunity is real. And I'm so glad that you guys are here today. So today I have more confidence than ever. I can go anywhere. I love to do events and talk to families, educate them, empower them. I'm just so excited. So to everyone who is here tonight, you are in the right place at the right time. This opportunity can change your life if you lean into it. So plug into the training, remain coachable, stay consistent, and most importantly, remember why you're here today. Because when you grow, the family you're going to serve will grow. And when you win, the community you're about to serve will win. So thank you all again for being here today. I really appreciate you all. God bless.
Oh my goodness. What a wonderful testimony, guys. Can you give a round of applause for that? She I think we have similar stories, but I don't know what it's I don't even know what I'm gonna say in my story.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna, for the opportunity. I really appreciate that too.
Awesome. Awesome. I know you have to go at some point, so just want to let the audience know that. Okay. Okay, so wow. Thank you. Anyway, so next, I'm going to introduce Dr. You Are Covered. She's a senior manager with Xperia, and she's going to share some really important information, and then I'll come after that. So I'm going to let her do her part, and guys, just tune in. All right.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Anna, and what a wonderful testimony, Shola. Always a pleasure to be amongst you both, right? We've had the opportunity to go out and share our information with families, and like she said, she is eager to help folks, no problem, just giving them the information, and that's all we're doing today in support of Anna. So shout out to everyone that showed up today. Thank you for being intentional and with your support and letting her know that you have her back. It is not easy to embark on new ventures, and this is something that she's doing, and we are here to support her as well. As she mentioned, I am Dr. You Are Covered. I am a senior manager here at Xperia, and even more so exciting with Trusted Future. Yes, remember the name, okay? Because I'm sure you'll be here with us soon. So we want you to remember that name, Trusted Future. So I'm not sure which screen I'm sharing just yet. Do you guys see my screen? Uh-oh.
Yes, we saw your screen, but it went away.
Okay. All right. So I was just introducing myself. So yes, we are here for Anna's business launch. Can we give it up for Anna again? Again, it's not easy to take on new ventures. All right. To be in our big age, that's how I identified our big age, and go back and study. You had to study, right? You had to pass that exam and get the credentials and now embark on this new journey. So we definitely want to let you know that you are supported. Here at Xperia, we have a very powerful quote, building financial foundations for families to empower them today and leave a legacy for tomorrow. And I always like to leave my own quote: one mission to change the narrative, one mind at a time. And that's the mission that Anna is on. We're joining arm in arm with her to support her on that mission. Now, y'all bear with me because I'm not tech savvy, but we're talking about the power of knowledge. Anna went and got the knowledge. Now she can share that knowledge from a wisdom place. And then not just the power of knowledge, but also the power of choice. So in the video, those of you that came in, you may have heard about these special accounts, right? They talked about these special accounts and these 770 accounts. Well, some of you may have heard about these accounts and just don't know it. Stay tuned. We'll get to that. Here's a famous quote, the infamous Warren Buffett. And I'm sure you've heard this quote before because many of us have. If your salary is your only source of income, well, guess what? You're one step away from poverty. Don't worry about middle class. You're one step away from poverty. And we see now more than ever today how accurate and true the words of Warren Buffett back then ring true today. All right. So we're going to talk about the power of choice. We're not just speaking about joining a business or supporting Anna in this business because it sounds good. I'm sure you know some of these names here as it pertains to this special account. Remember, I'm going to keep referring to this special account because it is special. And what we're able to do with these special accounts is financial expenses. You need these final expense accounts, these final expense plans for when you want to prepare so you don't leave your family with any burden, right? We are familiar with what that looks like. Maybe it's a chicken dinner or the infamous, we'll talk about the infamous GoFundMe, right? But you also have the opportunity of the permanent life insurance. And you may say, well, I have this, I have that. And we'll talk about how the difference of having your own personal account is going to set you far more apart than what is owned by your job. If anything happens with you in that workplace, and I'm sure you know, right? We all have had that separation. Talk about a divorce. Leave a job and don't let them give you severance. That's a divorce you don't want to have. Well, in the same sense, you don't have the benefit anymore if you're not with that company. You lose that benefit, or if you're not informed enough. And most times, a lot of folks aren't informed on what to do to have those things carry over. So it goes into the power of choice with all of these things here. But what are these things here? You know, do you know what the rule of money is? Because that's what we're talking about. How do we get to these choices? Well, there's a basic rule of money. What are the basic rules? One, how money grows. We're familiar with how money grows. Most people say, "Oh, I just go make money." In this society, we've been told, work, work, work. Put your head down and just work. You know, stay on the job. How many years? Forever, almost, right? You work more years than you have to, invest in retirement. So your money is going to grow in three ways: it's fixed, it's variable, and it's indexed. And if your money is fixed, it's just a slow and steady burn. That's that narrative we heard. Live the American dream. Just go and work hard and you'll get there. Don't do much of anything else. And then some people have a little bit more ambition and they want to go and try maybe get into different creative things, stocks, ETFs, bonds, etc. But we have found something really powerful with this index. And what we are able to identify with this index when we use the rule of 72 is that this index will allow us to have upside protection and downside potential. Well, what are you talking about, Dr. UR? I'm glad you asked. Glad you asked. So the rule of 72 is going to just simple rule that you divide into 72 the interest that your account will bear. And what that's going to tell you is how long it'll take for your money to double. So we're not going to prolong on this for a long time. We want you to understand it. But when you do understand the rule of 72, you're dividing 72 by the interest. You see here the $10,000 for each one will grow based on that interest rate. And here you have 6 years, 9 years, 18 years. How fast would you want your money to grow? We know we would like it to grow fast, but what is making that decision is even more powerful. Is it because it's taxed annually? Is it an asset that's taxed with withdrawals, or is it taxed no tax, right? So what we're able to do with this powerful tool that Anna has now come apart and sharing information about and using herself as well is, like I said, the rule of 72 and with the way money grows and this tax advantage. So because we have this tax advantage, let's talk about what offers us that tax advantage. So we're looking at the types of life insurance. These types of life insurance, most people will be familiar with. We talked about the job. That's usually the group life. You have that through your employer, and sometimes it does feel comfortable. But if you were to go and look right now and see what type of coverage you have or how long you might have it, you might be surprised. And what Anna's able to do is help you do that review. So maybe you don't understand all of the terminology or what this means. That's why we're having this, because on this business launch, she's now educated to help you understand these powerful tools, these special accounts that video was talking about. So there's group life, there's term, there's whole, but we're going to introduce the power of the IUL. Now, as we introduce the IUL, I'm going to just tell you, Anna mentioned retirement. She mentioned financial legacy and planning. This tool, this special account is powerful. It's able to protect your family today, grow your wealth for tomorrow. It is going to take your premiums. Again, it gives you the protection. You're able to earn a cash value account, and it's linked to the market that so many people are aware of, but they don't have the protection if that market drops. This is going to give you that safety net with a 0% floor. All right. And we talked about the rule of 72 and in terms of the interest, and we go right to Albert Einstein with this powerful quote. Again, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, right? So if you know that, you who going to use it and understand it, you're going to earn it. And those who doesn't, they pay it. And we want to be the ones who know how to use it. And that's what Anna's going to show you all as well as you continue to support. So here's a quick analogy or illustration is what we call it. If you were to invest into this special account, and when we look at this, we're looking at a 31-year-old investing simply $6,000 into this account and how that would grow. So we start with the years, and I'll just go through the years to show you that it doesn't just grow, but it grows exponentially, and it grows to year 120. So you may have heard of life insurance. I know you heard me just say it a few times, but this is not the same life insurance you heard about before. This life insurance is a powerful account. It allows you to have an account for your cash value and a surrender. Now, who wouldn't like to gain enough interest to borrow against it? That's what you're going to be able to do. If you look at this account, $6,000 would yield you $2,362 of interest to borrow against. You couldn't put it in your bank account and do it. You couldn't put it in any other portfolio based on the features alone. So we're just going to take a quick look at how that money grows and grows. And if we look here with this structure, and this is a proper structure, you would stop paying that $6,000 annually at the age of 65. Now we're talking about retirement. Remember, we mentioned retirement. These things can sound, you may have it where you heard it one way and you don't know that it's talking about the same thing. And that's what we're introducing to you today, that you may have heard about this, but maybe you didn't hear about all of the tools or all of the powerful ways that it works. So now you're going to look at your retirement. Now, the first few slides of this was enough for me to say, oh, my money can grow. That's more than enough. But you mean to tell me my money can grow? I can stop paying at 65. You see, there's no additional contributions. And look at this piece right here. Here is where you're going to be able to get an income from this powerful tool where you've invested up to age 65, just $6,000 annually, and you still have this amazing interest-bearing surrender value where you can borrow against it, and look at the death benefit here. This is what goes to your beneficiaries. So when I say it's a powerful tool, I mean it's a powerful tool. And like I said before, it continues to go and grow. And it does not stop there. This tool continues to just blow our minds because it also comes with 3 living benefits attached. These are riders that we have. They are accelerated death benefits. And what that simply means is if you were to have any diagnosis of a chronic, critical, or terminal illness, they're riders that will help you accelerate that death benefit. At that point, you have up to 100% of that death benefit that we just looked at. Now, could you imagine that $1 million we just looked at as a death benefit? When we talk about some of these illnesses, chronic, terminal, and even critical, it's not so much if this happens to me, but we're all getting older. Our bodies start to do what it does naturally, and these things are more probable than not. So here's a way to secure that you don't have to worry about a disability plan or being on someone's Medicare and spending money down and being in a facility that most of us don't want our loved ones in. This allows you the power of what? Choice. Remember, we started with the power of knowledge and the power of choice. And as we continue, we don't need no more GoFundMes. Remember, I talked about GoFundMe? Well, the infamous GoFundMe has lost its job. Just like we and Anna retired her boss, we are retiring the GoFundMe narrative. Our families deserve better than that. If a family member passed away unexpectedly, what would happen to the family? Well, they'd be embarrassed if they had to go and ask everyone, help me bury my family member. No one wants to go through that. And it's even more difficult if you live, a lifestyle we see a lot of people living nowadays. They're on vacation every year. Could you imagine seeing someone living their best life and then you have to go into your purse to help bury them? You don't want that to be you. That's a bad, bad taste in anyone's mouth. And because you now have the power of knowledge, you have the power of choice. And with that, I'm going to close and say thank you again, Anna, for this amazing launch. Thank you for choosing Xperia and Trusted Future and trusting us to come and support you and talk to your friends and your peers. Hopefully you all will leave with something powerful from what was shared today. Again, these are the things that leave you with the power of knowledge and the power of choice. Choose wisely today, guys. Choose wisely today. I again am Dr. You Are Covered. You have a great day. Thank you, Anna. You have the floor.
That was really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. You guys, I really hope that you learned something today because I feel like every day I'm learning something new. All the trainings, when I come in, all the trainings every day, I learn something and I'm like, man, I could continue to make an impact each and every day. All the people that I talk to on a regular basis, I just want to talk to everybody. Like, look, do you have this in mind? And you'd be surprised many people don't really have certain protections in place because they don't know any better, right? So this is where I come in, as a professional. I, want to share this information, make sure you're knowledgeable, you can share the information, make sure you're taken care of, have peace of mind. That's the most important thing for me, making sure that you have peace of mind. You go to bed knowing that your kids are covered. Anything happens to me today, my daughter's taken care of, that's so important. But anyway, thank you so much because I'm going to go keep talking and I don't want to do that. I appreciate that. But so anyway, I saw more people come in. Thank you so much. I mean, if you guys want to type in the chat where you're coming from or joining from, that would be wonderful because I do want to know where you're joining from so we can see, the different areas you're coming in from. But I want to thank you again for joining in today. It means so much to me. When you're starting a business, well, I've been in this industry for quite some time, but there's always fears about, getting out there and stepping out of your comfort zone and engaging people, networking. And so I am just at that point where knowing that I have the support, I can reach out to my mentors and my leaders and ask the questions, it's not easy, but guess what? I'm still on the mission to help as many people as possible, guys. And so, just knowing that you're here today means so much to me. And then, you could probably share that information with other people out there, but like, hey, I know a professional who might be able to help you. You might have a conversation, and that's what matters to me. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody, right, and see how I can serve them, how I can help them, and take care of their family. So that is my mission. So anyway, I'm kind of all over the place right now because I'm super excited. But I'm going to just kind of talk about myself. I'm not going to go into detail because I'll be here forever. But here's the thing: as it stands right now, I am a independent licensed independent broker or financial professional. But when I use the word broker, that means that I have access to multiple carriers. I've had experiences where I couldn't help clients, prospects, I'll say, who were, a certain age because the company I was working for just was limited to me providing that, so it was so heartbreaking. There's certain things that I'm super excited about that I can actually bring that to the table and be like, hey, if this company doesn't work, I got another carrier that I can find this and see what we can do for you. So if this doesn't work out, there's other options. So the options are there. So that's what super excites me about this opportunity. Okay. So I'm going too fast because, again, like I said, guys, I'm going to breathe. Okay. I'll breathe. We'll take it easy. Okay. So, but here's the thing. I used to think that, the wealthy people were the only people that could afford protection, right? I just think that there's such a gap between. There's the point where you start to realize, wait a minute, I need to wait for that promotion in order for me to protect myself, to get life insurance, or to get whatever that means, right? But you know what? Time waits for no one. You have to make sure that you do it today, right? If you don't think about putting something in place, especially if you have children, I mean, just think about it, right? Maybe you just bought your first home, you have young children, or you just got married and you don't have anything that will protect you or your spouse if someone loses a job. You need to have something in place to ensure that you're taken care of. That peace of mind to me is such an important deal. So that really makes a difference. So I focus on leading with education. I'm not all about selling policies. I want to make sure that you are fully informed. We build a strategy that works for you. Not like, basically, there's no one size fits all, right? In this industry, it is, everybody has different goals and different needs, and those can change over time based on, the circumstances, right? Some of you might be in a job where, the company provides, which is awesome. You have something in place, that's great. They need to think about, what happens if I lose this job? Or what happens if the company, resign, whatever the circumstances are. So this is just some things to think about. But anyway, so guys, breathe again. I want to introduce two executive directors who are awesome. I mean, guys, when I've been in different companies, and let me tell you what these two the true example of what leadership is, right? Edie Joyce brought me on board. I was passionate, and he's like, yep, come on. Patricia, I've met with her a few times. I hung out with her in the office the other day. And we kind of work together, and I'm just like, this is awesome. This is where I want to be. And I know that they've got my back. So we're going to have a panel, but I want to let you know that these two, amazing. Everybody here is amazing, but I just want to let you know, hey, Edie, Patricia, Edie Joyce, we're going to do like a panel. I'm going to ask some questions. And if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. So we'll definitely get to that. Okay. So there's no like hard question. There's no crazy question. It is just whatever. We'll be able to answer that for you. Okay. All right. So I am going to start with drum roll. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I'm going to start with Edie Patricia. And here's the question. Actually, here's what we'll do first. Okay. I'm going to ask one question and then all three. So we're going to have Edie Patricia, Dr. Ua, and Edie Joyce answer the question. And so the question I'm going to ask is, in your experience, what is the biggest financial mistake families make when it comes to retirement and protection? So we'll start with Edie Patricia.
Okay, wonderful. Well. this has been wonderful so far. I hope that everyone on here has enjoyed, right? The few minutes that we shared a lot of information and that it has brought value to you, right? So, my name again is Patricia, and good evening to everyone on here. I am a licensed financial insurance broker based here in the beautiful state of North Carolina. So I want to take this opportunity or this moment to thank Anna for inviting me to be a guest panelist among us, the amazing leaders here like Edie Dios and Dr. Yuar, of course, and Sister Shola. This is really a wonderful opportunity for us to come together, right, as a community to empower and educate one another about securing our future and also really understanding the financial plans that is available for us, right? So I'm excited to be with you all here. So answering to that question that you just asked, Anna, I would say the biggest mistake many families make is waiting too long to plan. Right? That to me has been, my observation. They delay saving or delay getting proper protection and assume that they still have time. Right? I've got time. I'll do it next year. When I have more money, I'll do it maybe in 3 years. That's my goal. But really, time is the one thing you can't get back. I always talk about how time has no refunds. If you miss the opportunity, miss time, that it's running, it's going, right? So to me, that's the biggest issue that a lot of problems that families have, right? Not really understanding the financial plans available to us. So and another thing also that I've really realized is that many families think because money is coming, I have a job, I'm earning money, so I'm good, and they feel like they are financially safe. But without a plan, for retirement or a proper protection, that income can disappear or stop anytime, any day. Nobody knows about tomorrow. The unforeseen happens. What if it happens? What plan do you have in place, right? So true security isn't just earning money. To me, it's protecting that money and also preparing for the future. So, there is a saying that really stands out to me that says people really don't, plan to fail, but they fail to plan. So that is the mistake that I've noticed that a lot of families make. I hope that makes sense. Over to you, Anna.
Oh, I'm on mute. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, when I use ED, I apologize. That's an internal acronym for executive director. I'm going to address them by first name because we have audience
Absolutely.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, it's your next.
Yes. Thank you so much for this invitation. For those who don't know me, my name is Dios Mukama. I'm also one of the executive directors here at a company called Expia Financial Group, which is a brokerage firm basically where we partner with all these investment companies and insurance companies to help families. So I'm also located here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and so I've been here for quite some time now, and that's now I met Anna. So thank you so much. Tonight we are launching her business, but basically we are celebrating what she's going to do into many people's lives. And so for those who are on the call, also including you guys. Now, to answer your question, I feel like because most people they start their career with corporate jobs or different type of jobs, so the mistakes people I see most of the time, they also rely on the government and also on their job. Just knowing that you're going to work for, 40 hours a week for 40 years, but not knowing that they will only have 40% of their income when it comes in retirement. And if you were not able to pay all the bills and everything on 100% of your income, so what is 40% of it is going to help you with? And also relying on government, oh, I'll have Social Security, I'll have whatever. That's why you see somebody 67, 68, now they're going back to Walmart to work. and they are in 70s, because whatever they are receiving cannot even pay the rent, and they thought the mortgage gonna be, paid off by then, but they kind of getting refinancing, second mortgage, or so the debt is still there even at age 65. So now, not without protection, some of those people get a term life from State Farm or from, whatever auto insurance offers a term life insurance. You, instead of getting a permanent life insurance that will cover you for whole life, you get that term life that expires when you need it most. Somebody got it when they were 30s or 40s. Now they're 70s. They took 25 years term. Now the coverage is gone. Guess what? That's when the illness kicks in. Now there's no protection, no income. Now they call the company, "Oh, have a life insurance." No, it expired last month. So they don't have no income, they don't have no protection. So those are the mistakes. It goes back to what Eddie Patricia said, no proper planning. Those are the mistakes, but also relying on your job, relying on the government, just to be disappointed, And this 401k, not knowing how 401k or Roth IRA works, because nobody ever talk to retirees and go to somebody who's retired, playing golf at 10 a.m. in the morning. They are in 67 years old, and talk to them. Hey, how much do you have in 401k that allows you to play golf at 10 a.m. in the morning? They will say, no 401k. I cannot live this life on off. So they will tell you it was not about 401k, but that's all we know when it comes to retirement strategy. So now it's our job to educate families how to proper set these retirement accounts and using these cash value life insurance policies that are permanent that will help them in the future. So back to you.
Thank you, Darius. I appreciate that. That was awesome response to that question. And I'm gonna ask Dr. Yoar to answer that as well.
Yeah, you're gonna ask me to follow up on that, and I will. I will, because both of what they said leads to the ultimate core issue is the fear, right? They waste the time because they're in fear, or they don't ask the necessary questions because they're in fear. You don't want to be that executive that doesn't understand your 401k, and a lot of times it's the fear of being wrong or the fear of unknown. And how do you go and have that conversation? That's why things like this are so powerful, because it kind of relieves the rank a little bit. We are all professionals in this space. You are amongst your peers. And now they have a way to just have that conversation without the pressure. And then we can help them get properly structured. So I would say, in addition to what was said, fear of being wrong and fear of the unknown for sure. Back to you, Anna.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You guys give really, really great responses. And I like that it's the same question, but there's always a response, no matter what. So you guys, I hope you're really taking notes, because that is really crucial. Okay, so I'm going to go to additional questions here. We won't be here too long, guys, but I just want to make sure that you guys fully understand if you need to have your questions answered, right? These are just some of the typical questions people will ask anyway. So Patricia, your question here is, how does proper life insurance planning support retirement, not just protect against loss?
Okay, well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked. So I'm going to talk about the Index Universal Life, right? Or in general, if somebody talks about life insurance, a lot of people think, the only benefit you can get from life insurance is a death benefit, right? But here, I'm going to talk about the IUL, which offers you way more than just a death benefit. Yeah, it can support your retirement because it provides the living benefits, not just the death benefit. And I'm going to share a little bit of, a very dear story, right? Something that is very personal to me. A friend of mine who I had, introduced this same insurance with, right? She had a great career, strong career, and a workplace, and she also had workplace benefits, Because a lot of people will say, oh yeah, I do have benefits at work, right? But how does it really work? Because most of the time they don't even explain to us, is it really going to be in our favor? How can we benefit from that if we lose a job and so forth? So after getting this proper policy for her, right? Later, few months after that, less than a year, she faced a very serious illness, right? Because her plan allowed to access the living benefits, she could, she used that money to cover, to pay her bills, take care of her families while she was focusing on her health. And also to protect her family financially without stressing about the lost money. Because think about it this way: if you are working and you're diagnosed with a very serious illness, you're not able to go to work. So if you're not working, then you're not earning. Some people might say, well, I do have a disability, short term, which we know covers only for 3 months, and 6 months for long term. But what if you're sick longer than those months? What happens then? In most cases, people lose their jobs, they lose their income, they lose their health insurance. They lose even the life insurance that they thought they had. Now, the question comes, how do you continue to take care of your family, put food on the table, for the kids and stuff like that? So that's why it's very, very important for us to understand that we have to have a plan in place, such as this. Like for my friend, she had peace of mind knowing that she had, enough money at that time that she could access from her death benefit, and took care of everything, took care of her bills and took care of, her family and stuff like that. So that to me, is the power really of having the right plan. And it just creates the financial support, while you are living right now, and the security that you can have for your loved ones later. So yeah, so that to me is what is really important. Understanding what plan is it that I have to have in place in case of any unforeseen circumstances happen, that I can continue to take care of myself, fighting for my life, or still continue taking care of my family, other than just a death benefit. Yeah. Back to you.
Well, wonderful. Yeah, that is there's an emotional story behind that too. Living benefits are very, very powerful tool, guys. You may not know. I mean, to me, when I'm talking to people, I say, do you have the old policy or the new policy? Because if you don't have living benefits, then it may not serve you as much good, but it's always good to have that. Anyway, so I'm going to ask Dios for his question. And this is, can you explain the tax advantages that many families don't realize they have access to?
Wow.
Wow.
So that's a great question. And so true, because most people, they are busy working and they don't have time to read or even to do research. And when it's time to research, they don't research, they search. And those are two things. They search using Google and YouTube, and those are search engine. They are not research. So they end up not knowing what's available for them, only for those they are being taught by their accountants, CPAs. Nowadays, even somebody who files your taxes, they call themselves CPAs. And as we know, you can file your own taxes, but those people, they're also trying to advise individuals, right? So, and then they advise with stocks, put your money in cryptos, Bitcoin, and all that. So now back to your question. I would just also piggyback to what Edie Patricia said. When you understand this cash value life insurance, it has so many names. Yes, she called it IUL. There are people who call it TI, like tax-free, TFRA, tax-free retirement account. There are people who call it life insurance retirement plan. There are people who call it BYOB, be your own bank. Okay, so many names depending on which meeting or which session, which type of individuals you're surrounding, how they call it, because you need to understand, where does the company keep their money? Because we keep our money in the bank. Where does the bank keep their money? And whatever account, what they trying to get, what benefits they are trying to get, two things: safety and tax advantage. So they want to make sure they invest their money with safety and also they get away with taxes. So they don't share with the government. Okay. So now, if you can have this cash value life insurance plan, and then because of the tax codes that are out there that were designed way before even the 401k were designed, right? Because they went to make sure the wealth people, they have safety net, they have buckets where they put their money, and where the money grows tax free, the gain, everything is accessible tax free, and it's IRS approved. I'll call it like I call it BYOB, be your own bank or whatever insurance, cash value life insurance. But for companies, for example, they call BOLI, like they are bank-owned life insurance, but not like any regular life insurance. As you see, if you see, this is one of, this is BOLI I'm talking about. Bank of America has over 25 billion into a life insurance asset. This is an account you can also own yourself. You go read this book called Family Bank Strategy. You will understand. So Wells Fargo has 18 billion. Why would an investment or an institution like a bank buy or put their money, basically 80% of their entire asset, into a life insurance? Because when you count all the building of, the headquarters in Charlotte, in North Carolina, those one in Manhattan, all those buildings, they are worth 9 billion. But check this out. They trust to put in these policies. Why? Because they gain everything they earn. They can earn 30% is all tax free. And this is something we can also benefit if we are educated. Let me, Anna, allow me to give this small illustration.
Sure.
Look at this. So did you know that your bank, our bank, makes about 10% on every dollar you keep in your savings account, year in, year out, and they still give you 0.1%? Check this out. This is you. You put your money into the bank savings account. The bank will invest your money into a third party, which is a tax-free cash value life insurance. Do you understand? Most people, they think, they're going to put in a real estate. Real estate is taxed. It's a taxable account. Credit cards, these are taxable accounts and all that. Bonds, stock. But they put a chunk of your money there with auto draft or auto loan. They have it's a feature they have because it's a bank institution. So when you need your money, guess what? When you want your money, I need my money back. I need my 30,000 back. They will take a loan, which is a leverage. Take a loan from a cash value life insurance. Now, if they have $1 billion life insurance or 10 million, whatever, they borrow against it, which is an OPM, which is what we call other people's money, borrow that money. So they earned between 10 to 30% compound interest rate every year, but they give you what? Go check your statement, how much you earn in your interest in a bank. So now, what we teach people, this leverage, what if you were to cut the middleman? What if you were to invest yourself, bypass, and I'm not saying don't have any what you call emergency fund in a bank or whatever, checking account. But if you were to invest and get tax-free, you can just invest straight there and then you earn the same thing they're earning straight back to you. You see what I'm saying? So I hope this answers your question on everybody here, because that is the roller coaster. And then let me tell you, when I found that I can literally put the money, 10,000, into my cash value life insurance policy today, then in 2 days, I go back and say, I need to borrow against the money that I gave you, right? They will give me back the money tax-free, no penalty, no age restriction, nothing. And I'm borrowing against the money, which is now my cash value becomes a collateral asset, but I'm not taking the money out because I have a death benefit attached to this account. If I die without paying this money, they would draft from my death benefit. That is a concept. That is OPM. Basically, I'm using insurance money to go back and fund my own project tax-free. And my money that is there, the same 10,000, continue to grow compound interest year in, year out. So that's here you have your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, can you tell how passionate he is about this?
I
That's how
live the life.
serious they are. So, we want to make sure you're educated. Dios took it, he had a whole presentation just to make sure you guys you fully understand, what he's talking about. There's true passion in that. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. Wonderful. Guys, are you learning something today? Okay. 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 So Patricia, here's your question here. Okay. Look, we only have 3 more questions, okay? So just stay put because it's still very important information. Okay.
You skipped my question.
You know what? Yeah, you're next. Yes,
Okay.
Dr. Yor, here's your question. I know you're ready for this one.
Well, okay, after that.
Right. For someone who feels like they don't make enough money to start planning, what would you say to them?
Now I should have let you skip my question. I think what was said actually answers the question. It's the lack of knowledge, right? You don't know what you don't know. And all of the things that were just said prior to, if you don't know how to get to the knowledge, if you don't know how to get to the information, the search engines aren't going to help you, to EDDOS's point. Right. And what Patricia said is you have to be with someone who's going to give you all of the ins and outs, because it's important to know the nuances of this. So I guess what I would say is just building on what EDDOS just landed on is you are the estate. And when you think about all of these taxable things, you will transition from this life and they're going to call you an estate. And somehow we don't connect the dots that we will go and invest in real estate and auto and all of these things, but we don't invest in the core estate, which is us. So if you are the estate, what is your plan? So the estate has never been based on what you make. They don't care if you made a lot of money, a little bit of money. You're going to be an estate regardless if you left here with $0. So it's not about how much you make. It's about taking the knowledge and applying it so that you actually plan your estate. And that's just how I would answer that question, because it's not really about what you're making. It's about taking the knowledge and applying it. Thank you, Anna. Back to you.
Taking that knowledge and applying it. That is the key here. Taking that knowledge and applying it. I mean, we can read so many books, so we can learn and do the research, search, Google. If you don't apply it, that's not going to work. Awesome. Thank you for that. Patricia, you next. So we often hear the term $1 million baby strategy, right? What does that mean? And how does that starting early change the trajectory of wealth?
Wonderful. That's a great question. That is a question that I should, somebody should have told me or, answered it years ago, right? But anyway, we have learned. So here's what I take. The $1 million baby is really a strategy that simply means starting, a child's financial plan early, so time does the heavy lifting, right? We spend a lot of money, spending on babies, sometimes maybe shopping, or let me just say the first birthday, right? We make it a big deal. It's a big deal, yes, you're celebrating, but sometimes it's overrated, right? We spend like $2,000, $3,000 on a birthday, really, when we can just spend maybe $500, buy some, cupcakes or whatever, balloons and all that, invite some friends and make some little, packets where you can give away to kids, games and stuff like that. Don't have to spend much money, right? But we always think like, oh no, I don't have money right now to put aside for my baby. They're just 1 year old, or they're just 3 months old. I'll start maybe when they're 10, or when it's closer for them to go to college. We don't realize, like I'm saying, time is of an essence, right? So what I'm saying here is when you start early, like for a child, as early as 3 weeks, right? Even just small amounts that you have can grow over time through compound interest, like we were saying, using that to the IUL, the index, and that you can leverage the compound interest. In this case, we're talking about that, right? The money grows exponentially on top of money. That is the eighth wonder of the world, like Dr. Uar had mentioned. Einstein always, that was his great definition, and that is very true. So that is what a million dollar baby is, because with time, over time, it can take it can turn this savings can turn really into a significant egg nest. So it's not really about how much you're putting in, but it's about how early you start. Time is really the biggest wealth builder, like I said. So let's not think, and that's a mistake again, that people think, well, I'll start when I can put in 5,000 or 2,000. No, you can put as early as $50 in this account, that that money is going to compound for you at such a time when that child is going to college at 18 or 17 years of age. They will have a sustainable income to pay for them to go to college debt free. So we are eliminating, getting into debt with student loans and financial aid and stuff like that. Why? Because most of the time we don't plan better. So that is what that $1 million baby. And you don't have to also pay into this account until that child is 60. You can actually sit with a professional where they can design a plan for you, where you just have to pay maybe for 10 years into this policy, and it'll continue to compound. It'll pay for their college tuition. The money can continue to compound at such a time when they maybe want to buy a home. They can, they will have enough money to put down on a house, or maybe if it's a wedding, you can actually also draw money that also can fund that. So over time, by the time this individual or your child is going to be retiring at 65 or 67, whatever, they will be millionaires. Actually, when you look at it, depending on how you're funding it, at the time of retirement, maybe 60 years of age. That is the $1 million baby. So it's really, really, a powerful tool, that, like I'm saying, can support a whole lot of financial needs. It can be college, it can be house, it can be a business, and everything, just little by little, starting as early as 3 weeks old, to put money aside. So the little babies that people are taking for granted and stuff like that, those, you can make those millionaires. And what will it take is for you to actually, be educated, and that's why we're here, so that you can act upon the information here that we are, unleashing to you, so that, hey, we are trying to deviate from just struggling and paying debt and paying that compound interest to these institutions. So we're changing the narrative. That's what $1 million baby is.
What a beautiful response to that, Patricia. Yeah, I mean, you just think about it. So some of us at 40 something years old have student loans, and it's just a battle, right? What if I want to buy a house, in a couple of years, and that's an ongoing debt. That's like becomes generational. So yeah, time is of the essence. Start early. So that's important. Education is key. Thank you so much for that response.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so we have 2 questions left, guys. Okay, Dios, here's your question. Well, this might be a little tricky. I don't know. Let's see. Many people think they need to choose between investing and protecting their family. How those two actually work together? Well, maybe not so bad.
Right. So, and that is most common mindset. Most people, I talk to my neighbors, find out highly educated people, and you find out that they are just putting some money aside, in stocks, or they open a 529, for the child's education. So they're investing for their kids, but then they leave the protection aside. First of all, themselves, they're not protected. Their life is not protected. The worst mistake you can do, because I always ask my clients and I ask them, Do you know where you're going to be tomorrow at 12 p.m.? Can you tell me where you will be? I know you go to work every day, but can you tell me exactly the spot where you're going to be sitting tomorrow at 12 p.m.? They are not sure, right? They are not sure. So what it means is that protection does not need to be like, you don't need to think twice when it comes to protection. Like say, I'm going to invest, and then once I invest, and this will cover. No, protect yourself first, then invest. But it can go together if you choose the right account, right? So it's not like one is better than the other. They can both be at the same time parallel. You're investing and you are protected. Because I always also give an illustration about a phone. Everybody just look at your phone. First thing when you buy a phone, first thing you do, you buy also a screen protector and a cover, right? I know I've seen people who don't have cover, they don't care. But what it is this. When you drop your phone, it's guaranteed that it's going to break if there's no cover on it. That's why the first instant, you got to put a cover on it and a screen protector. So, and car insurance, the same thing, we protect them. Mortgage, not mortgage, house, we gotta get a home insurance. When you have a renter, they add about $10 or $15 renter's insurance. Everything is protected, but people leave behind the life that controls it all behind. And so for me, I would say, how does it go together? Protect what matters most. Protect your family from misery. They also say that a realtor, like a real estate license, will put a family in the house in their best time of their life. But a life insurance or an insurance agent will keep the family in the house at their worst time of their life. That is so powerful. Think about it. Because whatever you invested, they either put in a 401, that will not matter. Some people put the money in stocks. Let's say I have a wife, I put so much money in stocks, but my wife doesn't even know the password of my crypto account. I go and open the kids' stocks, but the wife, the beneficiary, doesn't know how to open that. And somebody drop dead or get into an accident, boom. Who will know that there was 2 Bitcoin worth of 120,000 in account somewhere, right? But when it's properly structured, that's why we tell people you can invest and protect at the same time if it's in the right account. So I see this is a very big topic that we can take the whole day to talk about. But if somebody on this call just go and talk to Anna, check your options, what you have. And even those people who feel like, oh, I don't have money to invest. As Edie Patricia said, you can start as little as $200. If it's within a compound interest account, instead of you paying the compound interest with the credit card or American Express or this higher thing, whatever credit card that you're paying compound interest, like 20, it's insane, 28 APRs. They don't have, or they have the audacity to charge you 18%. And we keep paying it. What if you were to get the account that gives you back the same compound interest? If you were to put $300 a month, $200 a month, but consistency, discipline with that savings, it will, and while you're also protecting your family and everything. So you will win big time. So it's just a matter of understanding and know where should I do this both. Because I will not tell you, Anna, I will not tell you to go ahead and invest in an account, and that account, when somebody pass away, it goes to probate court. People don't understand the probate court system. It takes about between 6 to 2 years to process those proceeds, to design where the money goes. They will pay the institution first, financial institution first, the mortgage company first, before your family will even access that 401k if it did not have like a designated beneficiary on it, which most people, they don't. Those are the things that I can talk more, but it has to go hand to hand. Invest with the protection at the same time, and you win big time in life. Yeah.
Wow. See? Yeah, guys, protect what matters most. I like the analogy with the screen with the cell phone because it's true. You don't buy a cell phone if you don't buy a protective cover or a screen, all those things that help protect your phone, then that's at the cost of replacing that phone is astronomical. I'm not about to be buying another phone. Get that taken care of. Absolutely. Okay, so our last question for the panel, Dr. UR. This is in today's economy. I think this question was kind of answered somehow, but this is specifically for you. In today's economy, where people change jobs more frequently, how often is it? How important is portable protection outside of employers' benefits? Can we read that again?
Yes.
Okay.
I got
In
it.
today's economy, where people are changing jobs more frequently, how important is portable protection?
Okay, portable protection. Copy.
Yeah.
So, that was very powerful information that we just heard from Edie Deals as well, by the way. And I love the comment in the chat, Serena. I see you. And yes, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. But we're here. Now you definitely will know. But what I will say is portability is reality. We don't live in the days of old where people are staying on the job 40, 30 years. That's just not happening anymore. However, what we just went over and what we learned through compound interest is this uninterrupted compound interest. So EDDOs talked about how he was able to borrow against his cash value, and that money did not move. That money did not gain tax. Well, that's the power of it. So if you think about having the power to do all of this moving, the world is moving, it's ever changing. You got AI, technology, you name it. Okay, it's happening. But where's that protection we were just hearing about? Where is that security in knowing that you have insurability and your child or your children will be secure at their older ages with $1 million baby? Well, that's going to come in the uninterrupted compounding interest. And once you have that, that is only going to come from your personal coverage. You're not going to have that benefit with your job. So the power of portability is really the reality that you need to own your own product. EDDOs mentioned it as BYOB, be your own boss. But really, if you look at the way this society even talks about folks as minority or not, if you're mature and you're handling your affairs, the days of old are they're gone, right? We're dispelling fear and we're taking this information and we're applying it. And we're going to go ahead and have our own portability, being our own banks, having our fields in order, and doing it with the uninterrupted compounding interest. So if you did decide to leave the job or be an entrepreneur or join Anna and her crusade, right? That would be possible because you have a structured account and a structured policy that we talked about today. So that would be my response to that. Get that uninterrupted compound effect.
Well, thank you so much for answering that question. Wow, what a load of information, everyone. I have not heard anybody asking any questions here. We're definitely getting feedback. I see Serena, she's shared so much. She's one of the comments, she says, it feels overwhelming, like where to start, when to start. It's so easy to keep putting it off. A better time, like it was said, time waits for no one. Absolutely. So I would say it tells me that you're processing what is being said, and that is the goal of basically all of this, right? To kind of get you pondering, like, wow, this is really good information. So helpful. So let's see. Y'all doing a great job with providing information. You're answering all the questions that come to mind. Wow, then we did a great job. That's what it sounds like. Can we get a round of applause for the panel, for answering all these questions, guys? So I'm just really honored to have them by my side and being here at this time. I can't even believe this actually happened, but I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but hey, I know that I got people that are supportive out there. So I appreciate you all for coming in. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions or would like to schedule, I have my calendar there. Now I actually kind of want a quiz, but the group is not really like putting questions there, so maybe
We
I
can
feel like
hear,
you guys got a lot of information today.
or we can take questions from them.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
our great audience. If you can ask a question, maybe we did not cover, that
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
great. Or a
Well,
feedback
let's start with the question that's in the chat. When to start? When is the question? Today is
today.
the answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Today
Now.
is the answer. Go
Yeah.
ahead and scroll down, click link to schedule, get on Anna's calendar so we can help you with all of your questions because some you may not want to answer out in public, right? And that's okay. But you now have the comfort of getting the information from someone who already is near and dear to you. So that's the answer. When is now? Don't wait another moment. Don't wait another day.
Mhm.
So that's the first question.
Awesome. Anybody else? It doesn't even have to be in the chat. I mean, if you can you well, I'm not sure. I can't really see
Yeah,
everybody here.
I guess
But,
the chat, yeah.
all right.
yeah. They can unmute. You can unmute. They can unmute us themselves as well and ask a question.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or share experiences. Maybe you've heard about this and you're just not sure. Maybe you've seen it on the YouTubes or the TikToks. Today, this information has come in so many ways, and we don't want you to be confused or overwhelmed by it because people are saying things, and we want to make sure that you get the whole truth because what a half truth is a whole lie. So we want to make sure you get the whole truth. It's a conversation, right, Anna? I think this is time
Absolutely.
where we have conversation. We're not the professionals. I'll take my blazer off if it makes you feel better. Yeah. I just want to have a conversation.
I think
And we want to thank y'all for showing up. Showing up is effort, not to really, harp on it, but sometimes just showing up alone is that faith jump, that effort that's needed because you don't know what you don't know. And these seeds that Anna just planted and some seeds that may have been watered, if you take action, the manifestation will be plentiful. The harvest will be plentiful. And we can guarantee that. We can say that for a fact. Yeah. So,
well, there is a question right there. Thank you.
right.
Okay, let's take a look. All right, Serena's question is, what about as your income fluctuates, people may worry about trying to maintain what is it that whatever it is. Oh, that's not, I can't get it. Can somebody read this? Oh, let me pop out my screen.
Whatever it is that they invested, they have started or losing out on things already invested. Your situation 6 months from now may be different than today. So if I understand the question, what about as your income? Okay. So the best thing to do is just to schedule a free consultation with Anna or with any of us and to go over your options. Because when we're looking at these accounts to set it up, we do what we call expert financial analysis. We help our clients understanding even what they have in across the board, their income, what they put aside, their discretionary income, their expenses, everything. Then when you set up a plan, you can set up a plan where you invest for the whole year, 6 months, or do a monthly basis contribution. And one of the best account called IUL, like Edie Patricia mentioned before, it has a flexible benefit. You can reduce, you can increase, you can go as high. It can have a limit that is way above like 10 times than the Roth or RA, whatever, right? So depending on how much RS can allow you to put in 1 year. So it has that flexibility. You want to put it a huge lump sum and then forget about it, you can do it. You want to contribute as you go on your paycheck monthly basis, you can do it. So, and also when the life, changes or, financial hiccup, whatever, you can go and reduce the way you were contributing, or you can make a pause. You can, if you, let's say 2 years down the road, you lose a job or whatever, you can put a pause on your contribution because you have a cash value associated with your plan. it continue to, because the interest that happens every year, it continues to pay itself for a couple of more years to wait for you to resume. So it's a matter of just what strategy are you using to set up your financial plan, right? So really, I would say that best to sit down, let's see your options, and you may find out that you have some money with your old employer sitting in a 401k with Vanguard or TSPs or whatever that is just losing value every single day, that you can roll over into another product called index annuity that we did not even introduce here, which is another great product. So it's so many things that you need to understand, but the flexibility is totally there that can help you without a burden. We don't structure these plans because we are licensed by state, and we pass the board. Also, we pass the exam, what we call best interest of our clients. We got to make sure we set up something that is not going to be a burden in the future for you, but also going to give you a return. When you need the money, you have access without waiting for you to turn 59 years and a half. Who knows that is going to get there, by the way? That's so funny. Anyway, yep.
That was a great question. And thank you
Yes.
for answering that. Yes. Anybody else have a question? Okay. All right. I just feel like I have to acknowledge all the people that came in. Stephanie, Serena, Samantha, Raymond, Shola. Well, yeah, she's part of us. Marvelous, Martha, Jeanette. Okay, well, that's it. But yeah, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for coming in here, taking the time to do that. I really appreciate it. You can always reach out to me, schedule time, and also know. But I'm also not only that, but as I'm growing my business, I'm also looking to partner with super motivated individuals who are really passionate about helping others. And this is something that you can do part-time. So there's a lot of benefit to this as well. So I'm happy to have that conversation. So I'm super charged up. So if you're ready to give it a trial, okay, we got you. All right. Patricia, do you have anything to say at this time? Mm-hmm.
No, really, all the great leaders have spoken, and this was really, really amazing. And listen, we never stop to learn, right? Even as we are, presenting to you all, we are all learning at the same time. And this was really amazing. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation. And Anna, so proud of you, and for putting this together. Hey. We are a mastermind and working together here in harmony for our community, because we are here to change the trajectory of, just financial misery and stuff like that. So yeah, we don't take this time for granted. Thank you so very much, everyone, and hoping to hear from you soon.
Awesome. Bye, everybody. I wish I had some music. Yeah, like that's all good.